Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. We're back at home at Shirley Povich Field. Excited to be here. We've got a lot of fun in store at Shirley Povich Field. It's Metro County Hall of Fame night here at Shirley Povich Field. It's also baseball card night. We've got our deck of Big Train player baseball cards. Players were out on the concourse today signing fans' cards. It's been a lot of fun so far, but the fun is just beginning. Big Train set to take on the Gaithersburg Giants for the fourth time this summer. Now, Big Train sitting 1-2 in the series at the moment. They took the first win, a very dominant 13-10 performance, and then fell short the next two times they saw the Gaithersburg Giants. Quentin, what are you looking forward to tonight?
I'm looking forward to see if they can start a new winning streak, really. I mean, we've seen it a handful of times. The Big Train, especially the last couple of games, it seems like they are going to get on a roll. Looks like they're going to become the Big Train of the past, as we saw the last couple of games before the Crop Dusters game last night. 27 runs in 16 innings. The bats were white hot, and then they cooled off against the Crop Dusters. Just 2 runs in only last night, with one of them coming in the top of the ninth with a pinch hit home run from Keenan Bowman. But I really want them, at least for their sake, for the rest of the season, to start stringing together more than 2 consecutive positive performances. And that starts tonight. They'll have a tough task ahead of them with the Gaithersburg Giants, currently leading the Big Train by 3 games in the North Division. But these teams have been pretty competitive a handful of these games. We saw the Giants walk off the Big Train the game after the opening day shellacking from Bethesda, so I'm really excited.
I am as well. I agree. The offense has been hot recently. We saw in the past couple of games them put 27 runs up in 16 innings. It's been an offensive explosion. Cooled off a bit last night, as you said. The Crop Dusters, an uncharacteristically low-scoring game for the Big Train that we've been seeing so far, but the Crop Dusters had been on a bit of a low-scoring streak, so no surprise there. But I'm looking forward to see how these two teams match up. Big Train looking to come back in the series, falling 1-2, and get above 500 again, and as you said, start to string together a couple of wins. But the fun's going to start at 7 p.m. with our first pitch. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
watching you when you leave. Something new. Keep hoping you feel this too. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer love.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. We're here at Shirley Povich Field. Big Train going to take on the Gaithersburg Giants on the mound for the Big Train. Making his first start for the summer is going to be number 32, Sam Mitchell. Across from him at the plate, going to be number 19, Brady Powell, kicking things off for the Giants as he'll foul that first offering for strike one. Here comes the 0-1. That one is just a hair upside for ball one.
Now, we've only seen Mitchell one other time this season. That was in Alexandria a little bit ago, but lasted just one out.
It's the 1-1 is fouled off over the first base grandstand for strike two.
So this is his first start of the summer. Looking to bounce back and, for the Big Train's sake, start a new winning streak.
It's the 1-2 fouled off again over the first base grandstand.
Again, the Giants entering tonight with a 3-game lead over the Big Train in the North Division.
The 1-2 is chopped over to Bowman over at shortstop. He'll make the throw to Gonzalez on first for out number one. So as you mentioned, last time we saw Mitchell was when he came in for relief during the Sunday game in Alexandria with the Alexandria Aces. Made a strong first impression with the Big Train. First offering to Robbins is swung on and missed for strike one. The 0-1, that one's low and outside for ball one. So last night the Big Train was at the only Boys and Girls Club to face the Crop Dusters, fell just short, so the 1-1 is fouled off for strike two. Fell just short in the score. Final score was 3-2 in favor of the Crop Dusters, but a home run from Bowman, who came in to pinch hit in the top of the ninth inning. Things were looking close as the 1-2 is fouled off down the third base line. Bowman is going to resume his position as the leadoff hitter tonight.
Bowman, a pinch hit solo shot that went over the right center field fence, gave the Big Train a little bit of life.
So the 1-2 is upstairs for ball two.
But unfortunately, they could not get the job done as their bats were chillier than the evening and only last night.
As the 2-2 is outside for ball three. Count moves full on Aiden Robbins.
As the only other run of the night came in the top of the first, courtesy of an RBI single from Jordan Crosland.
The full count slammed into right field, and it'll bounce at the wall for a base hit. Robbins ranging towards second.
It's going to be a ground rule double. That one hopping behind the Giants bullpen. So a nice start there for Robbins, with the Big Train killer, A.J. Martin, stepping up to the plate now.
Now, the last time we saw these two teams face each other. It was a high-scoring affair. Gaithersburg took the win 10-8.
From Olney, Maryland, the right fielder number 7, A.J. Martin.
And as we mentioned during the pregame show, Big Train has been putting up big numbers recently. Bats cooled off a little bit last night. Hoping for some more of that offensive prowess here tonight, as the first offering to A.J. Martin is in there for strike one.
Now, the last time these two teams played, A.J. Martin, with 2 outs facing Brandon Cassidy, hit a grand slam to put Gaithersburg up 8-3 early.
The 0-1 in there for strike two.
Just an absolute soul crusher for the Big Train, who looked to be in a steady back and forth battle until that home run from Martin that knocked Cassidy out of the game.
The 0-2. That one is fouled off over the first base grandstand.
Looks like he hit the tree, Jim.
Again, a lot of fans in attendance here at Shirley Povich Field tonight. The first 500 received their own deck of Big Train baseball cards, which they were able to get signed by the Big Train players. The 0-2 knocked into center field for a base hit. And that'll put runners on the corners for number 31, Barham White, to step to the plate.
I am not quite sure how Martin got his bat on the ball there. Usually with curveballs up in the zone, it is a little difficult to make as good of contact as Martin did there, but now runners on the corners for the Giants with a cleanup hitter, Barham White, stepping up to the plate.
And pushed it just shallowly enough into center field that would have been impossible for Williamson to charge over for the catch. An excellent base hit to put runners on the corners. First offering to White is outside for ball one.
Now the Big Train haven't induced too many ground ball double plays this season, but one here would be extremely helpful in order to avoid falling behind early.
As the 1-0, that'll bounce in the dirt for ball two. Runner goes to second. There will be no throw. So the Giants prep to strike first with now 2 runners in scoring position.
2 great plays by Vaughn there. One was the stop to keep that in front. One was his holdup on what he could have done was throw down to second and try to get A.J. Martin, but considering that there was a runner on third with less than 2 outs, probably a good idea to let him go and not risk any further damage.
The 2-0. That one's upstairs for ball 3. Here comes the 3-0. That one is outside for ball 4. So bases loaded as White walks out to first. That'll send up number 30, Will Burgess, the first baseman for the Giants tonight.
From Ashton, Maryland,
So Mitchell finding himself in a bit of a jam here. We've seen the Big Train give up the lead early on with, as we've said, mixed results. We've seen them come up with a lot of late inning scoring spurts to push them either to victory or very, very close. First offering is in the dirt for ball 1.
Bethesda's done such a good job. I mean, you could even include last night in that of keeping the score close early, as they were in a rock fight with the Crop Dusters for most of last night.
It's the 1-0's in there for strike 1.
And had dominated in their 2 games before that.
The 1-1. That one is outside for ball 2. So again, Sam Mitchell and Luke Vaughn, later additions to the Big Train squad, coming from Alabama University. We saw both players make their first appearance on Sunday in Alexandria. The 2-1, that one is grounded right to the pitcher. He'll make the throw to home plate. Catcher makes the throw to first. An excellent double play to end the inning and hold them scoreless. Luke Vaughn, excellent work from behind the plate. So the game still 0-0. Your Big Train going to take to the plate when we come back with the bottom of the first inning. Stay tuned.
Big Train Baseball, we honor the community hero organization.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the second inning. A masterful double play from pitcher Sam Mitchell and catcher Luke Vaughn left them loaded for the Giants. They were held scoreless in the top of the first. Up to plate first is going to be Keenan Bowman. First offering is upstairs for ball one. On the mound for the Giants going to be number 41, Liam Deal, the rising sophomore at High Point University. The 1-0 swung on and missed for strike one.
Now Deal pitched just 2 innings for the Panthers last season, who won the Big South tournament for the first time ever.
The 1-1 upstairs for ball two.
But going back to that double play to end the inning, Mitchell initially looked like he was going to throw to first, but then his baseball instincts kicked in. Made sure he got the force at home, and a great throw by Vaughn and a good stretch by Gonzalez to complete the double play.
So the 2-1 is fouled off into the netting.
Now when I said, when I was talking about them potentially inducing a ground ball double play, I was thinking more a 6-4-3 or a 4-6-3. Definitely not a 1-2-3.
The 2-2. That one swung on and missed for strike three. So that'll be out number one for the Big Train. Stepping up, going to be number 29, Andrew Williamson. Has really solidified that second hitter position for himself since coming to Bethesda this summer.
Still the only Big Train player with a batting average above 400.
So he'll foul off the first attempt for strike one.
It is third homer here at Shirley Povich not too long ago.
The 0-1. That one is low and outside for ball one. Now Bowman, who was just at bat, huge night last night as we mentioned, came in for a pinch hit in the top of the ninth and a home run as the 1-1 is lined foul down the first baseline. A home run in the top of the ninth brought the game within just 1 run. Big Train came so close and yet so far to the victory, and only last night. The 1-2 outside for ball 2.
Everybody clap your hands.
Both pitching staffs were doing an exceptional job. Unfortunately, for the Big Train, the Crop Dusters, just a smidge more offense.
As a 2-2 is way outside for ball 3. Count moves full on Williamson.
As that is easily a team the Big Train could be seeing come playoff time.
The full count. That one popped up high down left field. Ranging under it is A.J. Brown. He'll make the catch for out number 2.
From Cincinnati, Ohio, the catcher number 13.
So Jaden Brown makes the catch in left field for out number 2, with now 2 outs on the board. Catcher Luke Vaughn going to step to the plate. He's been a very productive bat for the Big Train since making his first appearance on Sunday. First offering is low and outside for ball 1. The 1-0 outside for ball 2.
Now Deal has tried these first few batters with off-speed pitches tailing away. Hasn't had anyone take the bait yet.
The 2-0. That one's going to be in there for strike 1. As the 2-1 is upstairs for ball 3.
And waiting on deck is Emilio Gonzalez. Struggled a bit last night, but had been doing well for most of the week.
As the 3-1 is outside for ball 4. Vaughn gonna take his base at first, sending up the first baseman, Emilio Gonzalez. As you said, struggled a bit last night, but the game before, the Big Train recorded their highest scoring game of the summer. Had a victory 14-7. Gonzalez, a big factor in that win. First offering to Gonzalez is low and outside for ball 1.
To be fair to Gonzalez, though, most of the offense really outside of Jordan Crosland and Keenan Bowman really struggled last night.
The 1-0 in there for strike 1. And uncharacteristic low-scoring game last night after the offensive spurts we've seen from the Big Train recently.
I mean, that's where the Crop Dusters have lived recently, in the muck.
The 1-1 gonna be in the dirt for ball 2. The 2-1. That one swung on and missed for strike 2. Vaughn still holed up at first.
I think that's the most common, or at least one of the most common non-hit results we've seen from any Big Train batter. A foul ball by Gonzalez towards the left side, especially later in the count. Has done a great job this summer of getting defensive.
The 2-2. That one lined down the left field line. It'll drop for a base hit. Vaughn charging towards third. Been encouraged to go towards home. He's charging towards home plate. And with that, the Big Train takes the lead. 1-0. Still have a runner on second in scoring position, and Emilio Gonzalez for the man of the night last night, Jordan Crosland, to step up to the plate. As you mentioned, him alongside Keenan Bowman had probably the most successful night out of all the Big Train players last night.
Crosland just one hit behind Williamson for the team lead. And on that last at bat, Gonzalez finding his happy place on the opposite side of the field over the glove of a leaping Martin.
First offering to Crosland, gonna be in there for strike one. So again, we saw this on Sunday in Alexandria, the 2-out hitting just coming alive and creating a lot of success for the Big Train. Hoping to pad their lead a little further, get Gonzalez off of second as the 1-0 is, sorry, the 0-1 is fouled off for strike two.
Now, should Crosland make contact here, the middle infield is perched right where he likes hitting it.
Seems they've been doing their homework. The 0-2. Check swing, but it'll bounce in the dirt. Did he go around? He did not. So the count moves to 1-2 on Crosland. Again, 2 outs on the board. Gonzalez still waiting on second. The 1-2. That one's fouled off.
And waiting on deck is the right fielder, Josh Skoronsky.
Had a pretty successful night last night as well, was the designated hitter for the Big Train. Last night he had a base hit as well as a walk. The 1-2, that one popped high down left field. It'll land foul in the Big Train bullpen. So Crosland gonna stay alive to face the 1-2 count again.
Now, Skoronsky during batting practice was taking some reps at third base. And I don't want to imply anything, but in case the defense really needs to shuffle around, I wouldn't be surprised to see Skoronsky take the hot corner position.
As the 1-2 coming awfully close to Crosland, it'll be outside for ball two. Looked like it nearly got him, but he ducked out of the way in time.
Deal's got some serious run on his pitches. Crosland clearly not expecting it to go as close to his face as it did.
The 2-2. That one is popped up high into center field. It'll drop for a base hit, and with that, Gonzalez going to range towards home. Big Train taking a 2-0 lead. Still have a runner in on first in Jordan Crosland as they send up the right fielder, Josh Skoronsky.
Now, that's a couple of times now over these past couple of games where Crosland hasn't made the best contact with a pitch, but has found a soft spot in shallow right center field. Curious to see how aggressive he'll be with 2 outs and a 2-run cushion.
So Crosland continuing his success from last night at the plate as the first offering to Skoronsky is low for ball one. We've seen him come a long way from the start of the summer. Crosland's really become very confident and comfortable in his position and has created a lot of success from the plate as the 1-0 is grounded to the third baseman. He'll drop it. A.J. Martin bobbles the catch as it was grounded over to third. With that, Skoronsky gets aboard first. Crosland on second as Jaden Bastian, the left fielder for tonight, gonna step up to the plate. So already, Big Train have moved through 6 hitters. We'll see a mound visit over to Liam Deal. Don't see any action in the Giants bullpen.
That one's just an unfortunate moment for Martin at third. That's a play he's made, I'm sure, basically 9.5, if not 10 out of 10 times. He did look a little rushed trying to get that one over to first, as that one wasn't hit very hard by Skoronsky. And it looked like he just took his eye off the ball for a split second. And that split second, especially in a game that moves as fast as baseball when the ball is in play, that can mean a big difference.
And we've talked a lot about the weird pops you see on a dirt field. So, as you said, Martin, taking his eye off the ball for just a second, expecting it to go right into his glove, just bobbles it at the last second, unable to make the throw over to first in time. And with that, you have runners on first and second for Jaden Bastian. First offering to Bastian, gonna be grounded to the third baseman. Martin, it skips under his glove. Crosland ranging towards home. He'll score the third run. Skoronsky on second, Bastian on first. Your Big Train with now a 3-0 lead.
I'm sure Martin's had a lot of good days at third base tonight. At least to start has not been one of them.
From Knoxville, North Carolina, the third baseman, number 26.
Now stepping up to the plate, third baseman Davin Whitaker. Again, excellent two-out hitting from the Big Train. Have now taken a padded lead at 3-0 and still have runners on first and second. First offering to Whitaker is low and in the dirt for ball one. Skoronsky still on second. Bastian still on first. The 1-0 gonna be outside and high for ball two. So should this scoring momentum keep up, we could be looking at another high scoring affair that we've come accustomed to with the Big Train. The 2-0 is low and in the dirt. There will be a throw over to first, not in time for Jaden Bastian.
Slightly risky throw from Barham White if that one got past Burgess at first. Skoronsky could have easily scored.
The 3-0 fouled off. Whitaker gonna stay alive. Count moves to 3-1 on Davin Whitaker. Again, Skoronsky on second, Bastian on first. 2 outs for the Big Train, who are leading 3-0. The 3-1 low and outside for what should have been ball 4, but oh, it looks like perhaps was ruled a strike, so the count will move full on Whitaker. The full count is upstairs, and that'll be ball number 4 for Davin as he walks out to first. Bases loaded for the designated hitter and 9 hitter Jack Guerrero. Now we did see a little confusion with the scoreboard last night. Ariston Veazey was walked by the pitcher, almost had to take another hit, but thankfully the mistake was corrected. But either way, Whitaker gets his base at first. First offering to Guerrero, lined foul down the left field line.
Now Guerrero this summer struggled a little bit up to this point, has hit under 200. But in that game against the Grays where the Big Train won 13-0 in 7, Guerrero had a couple of hits and an RBI. A couple here would probably pay large dividends.
So the 0-1 is fouled off for strike 2. So again, bases loaded. 2 outs on the board for the Big Train. Guerrero now sitting in an 0-2 hole. 0-2. That one's going to be lined down past second base, and with that, Skoronsky will score. Bases still loaded as Guerrero takes first. Sending up the top of the order. Big Train has officially batted around. Keenan Bowman stepping back up to the plate. Big Train now leading 4-0.
Guerrero splitting the middle infield like a pair of uprights. Although a nice sliding play by Powell to keep that one from getting further into the outfield. Bastion would have likely scored if not for his efforts.
First offering to Bowman is upstairs for ball 1. So some shallow hitting from the Big Train has made things awfully difficult for the infield. The 1-0 is outside for ball 2. Awfully difficult for the Giants infield, and has allowed them to put runners on base, and they're now leading 4-0 with bases still loaded. The 2-0 to Bowman. That one's going to be fouled off over the netting for strike 1.
Bowman struck out in his last at-bat. A hit here would not only mean vengeance, but possibly a couple more runs for the Big Train.
The 2-1. That one lined out towards center field. Ranging under it is going to be Leighton Lackey. He'll make the catch at the, looks like he took a bit of a tumble at the wall, but
he got it.
He got the ball, and that's all that matters. Made the catch at the wall for out number 3. Big Train, strike first, leading the game 4-0. Gonna look to protect that lead when they take back to the field. Stay tuned as we head into the top of the second inning. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
Thanks to Trish, who we gave the award to. We have Montgomery.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner alone. 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 Boogie down, mix up. Boogie down, fix up. The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the second inning. Your Big Train leading 4-0 after some excellent 2-out hitting. Took an early lead, looking to protect that here. Sam Mitchell still on the mound.
Now the count moving to 0-2 on Casey Gibbs, the first time the Big Train have seen him so far this season. Playing his college ball at Longwood, a transfer from Virginia Commonwealth.
As the 0-2 is outside for ball 1.
Played his college ball at St. John's College High School, hailing from Olney, Maryland. His father, Kevin, played baseball at Old Dominion and was a 6th-round pick by the Dodgers.
The 1-2 upstairs for ball 2.
And he bounced around a few systems, namely the Yankees, Rockies, and Phillies as well.
Gibbs going to line that one out towards center field. It'll drop for a base hit. You saw Williamson charging in, was just a step or two behind. So Gibbs will take his base at first, sending up the left fielder, Jaden Brown.
Rarely do you see Williamson fail to come up with a catch that's really anywhere close to center field, but as you said, Phoebe didn't get a great jump on that, as it looked like for the first half second Keenan Bowman might be able to get there.
As Brown will line that through the whole base hit, that'll put runners on first and second for the Giants. Now stepping up to the plate, going to be a newer addition to the Giants lineup, Masa Kawashima. And we've actually got a very special guest in the booth with us tonight, Mr. Sean Springs. How are you doing tonight?
How you guys doing? Trying to stay cool.
It's been a little difficult to stay cool this summer. We just had a heat wave pass through the DMV area. Temperatures have started to drop slightly. But Sean, you're a member of the Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame. Grew up in the Silver Spring area. Can you tell us a little bit about what this area means to you?
This is a special area. Obviously, growing up right down the street, Springbrook High School, playing for legendary Coach Bob Malloy, who's out here tonight. But, you know, Montgomery County is the best county in the United States. And, you know, as an athlete, that's a good hit there.
Kawashima lays down a bunt, and the throw down to first is not in time.
That was pretty well defended by Whitaker. Looked like he got taken by surprise along with the rest of the big train infield by that bunt. But a good scoop and throw just couldn't get Kawashima in time, as that'll bring up the center fielder Leighton Lackey, who made a fantastic catch to end the inning.
Bases loaded for the Giants as their 9-hitter steps up to the plate. But as you were saying, you think
As you can see, we produce some athletes in the county.
like he will foul that one off for strike one.
As I was saying, that, you know, growing up in the county, sports are important, academics are important, had great organizations. And so it was a great place to grow up and probably contribute to a lot of my success.
As the 0-1 is outside for ball one.
Now, Sean, I want to go back to your college days at Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't breaking news to anybody, but the world that college athletes currently live in is very different than when you were at OSU. If you were a college athlete today, would Sean Springs have gone about his business differently, whether that be something like NIL, whether that be something like the transfer portal, or anything else that was different than when you were in college?
Yeah, I think you have to. You know, I have two sons who played in college, one at Georgetown, one at Richmond, and ultimately went to Arizona. But with NIL and these athletes being paid for their athletic abilities and name, image, and likeness, you have to consider that when you're thinking about how you associate your brand and what school you associate your brand. So it would have been a little different.
The 2-2 looks like it might have gotten away from Vaughn there a little bit.
It was interesting. I was listening to a podcast yesterday between Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart of the Knicks. They have their own podcast, and they were talking with their old coach, Jay Wright, from Villanova. And they were talking about if NIL would have affected them in college as well, and they pointed to a guy like Chris Jenkins, who won the national championship a handful of years ago.
The full count grounded into the glove of the pitcher, Sam Mitchell, unable to get a good hand on that, and with that, Casey Gibbs will score the first run for the Giants.
Mitchell covers so much space with how tall and lengthy he is. Unfortunately, just couldn't corral the comebacker like he did in the top of the first, and the Giants have their first run of the game. But John, as I was saying, you think about a guy like Chris Jenkins, who could have capitalized so much off of that singular shot. It's something that obviously college athletes have to consider nowadays when not only picking schools out of high school, but if they want to find another opportunity elsewhere.
Yeah, you know, obviously that was a big shot, like a big hit.
Lined to center field under it. It's going to be Josh Skaronski, the right fielder for tonight, makes the throw to home. So big out for the big train. Base is still loaded for the Giants.
And and guys, not only could it capitalize, but I think you got to continue to recruit guys once they're in your program, because although Villanova was stacked with that team, every year somebody's looking to transfer out. If they're not happy, they might have been a major recruit, and then all of a sudden they're not getting the playing time they expected. They may want to move on to a different program.
Absolutely.
But branching off of that, as a college athlete yourself, what advice would you give to the players here tonight who are also college athletes trying to navigate that landscape of their hopes for going pro, but also just, the potential that might not happen for them?
Yeah, well, the one thing that won't change is if you put the effort in there and you work hard and continue to put it in out here in the summer, right? You got a chance, and you never know where it goes. I think we have 23 major leagues who's played in this, I think, for this organization, and if they can, so your dream is still possible that you can go work hard. That's not going to change, but at the end of the day, you got to keep in mind that you're not everybody's going to go to Major League Baseball, but you got to continue to work, and if it doesn't happen, you got to go and get a job and get your degree, and everything will be fine.
Thank you.
And so, Sean, going back, I want to ask about a few guys you played with both in the college and with both Seattle and Washington.
The count moves full on Aiden Robbins.
I want to first ask about Eddie George.
Yep.
You caught him while you were there, 1995 Heisman Trophy winner, beat out the great Tommy Frazier by not too many votes. It was a pretty close race that year.
Full count is fouling off down the right field line.
But I know you didn't really have to cover him out of the backfield, for example, too much as a receiver, although Eddie George was very good at doing that. But what was the Eddie George experience like, especially as you caught him in his heyday?
Yeah, that year, 1995, was a special year. First of all, you talk coming into the offseason that spring, we were pretty loaded, pretty talented. We had great blockers. Corey Stringer was on that team, and I think Orlando Pace might have even been a freshman on that team. But Eddie's work ethic was incredible that spring and led to an amazing season.
The full count, lined foul down the right field line. Looks like it landed in the batting cages there.
And that work ethic, it's obviously so apparent on film. Just such a hard runner. Him and Tommy Frazier both.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the first thing you think of when you think of Tommy Frazier, that play against Florida where he basically shakes off half of the Gators' defense to score a touchdown. I mean, both him and George, not like I was live for anything, but thankfully YouTube's got me and the internet's got me.
And it's a full count lined. Second baseman crawls in. He'll make the throw over to first for out number 2 and 3. An excellent double play from the Big Train pitching and fielding squad. So the Giants strike back with 1 run, have cut the Big Train's lead down to 3. Sean Springs, thank you so much for joining us in the booth here.
This was awesome. You guys do an amazing job. What school are you guys at?
I'm a rising senior at Virginia Tech.
Okay, go Tech.
University of Missouri, the Superior 2023 College.
And you got a chance to make the playoff. Well, you got a special receiver over there now.
I think Luther Burden. I know Keyshawn Johnson was the last wide receiver picked number 1 overall back in '96, but I think he's got an okay shot to be the next one.
Oh, he's pretty special, man. They got a good program. SEC is tough, though. You know how it is.
I think he'll be all right.
All right, go Hokies, right?
Yep, exactly. Go Hokies. But thank you again for joining us, and thanks for coming out to support the Big Train in Montgomery County.
I love it. This is my hometown. Great organization. Bruce does a wonderful job, and I'm glad to be a part of it, and it's great.
Thank you again.
Right, thank you, guys.
Stay tuned as we head into the bottom of the 2nd inning. You're listening to Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the second inning. Big Train still leading 4-1. Left them loaded for the Giants to prevent a huge comeback. Andrew Williamson first at the plate. He'll pop that one up high down left field. And under it, ranging over the shortstop, Kawashimi for the catch and out number 1.
Again, a big thanks to Sean Springs for joining us in the booth. An All-American at Ohio State, the 3rd overall pick in the '97 draft to the Seattle Seahawks. Made the Pro Bowl the following year in '98 and finished out his career in Washington.
First offering to Vaughn is skied out into left center field and jumping up to try and make the catch. Left fielder Jaden Brown unable to get a good hand on it, and with that, Luke Vaughn gonna take second base. Vaughn having a very successful night from the plate so far, was walked during his first at-bat. He's recorded a double. Now stepping up, Emilio Gonzalez, who had a double during his first at-bat tonight.
That one a lollipop down the left field line. But again, enough to get him to second, ultimately coming around to score as part of that 4-run first for the Big Train.
Is the first offering. Check swing, did he go around? He did not. Count moves to 1-0 on Gonzalez. So again, as you said, a huge thank you to Sean Springs for joining us in the booth and for coming out to Shirley Povich Field to support Montgomery County sports and the Big Train, as Luke Vaughn will take that opportunity to steal third. Count moves 2-0 on Gonzalez. So during the top of the second, we saw the Big Train get into a bit of danger there. Giants had bases loaded a couple of times as the 2-0 gonna be lined fair down the right field line. Vaughn will score easily. Gonzalez ranging for second. So Gonzalez, another double, having an excellent night from the plate as he sends up another big bat for the Big Train. Jordan Crosland had a base hit during his first at-bat tonight.
Now, that was a heck of an effort by Burgess at first to try and keep that one in the infield, but unfortunately that one getting by him, and Gonzalez has another RBI. It's been a fruitful week for him as we're going to get a pitching change for the Giants.
So while we have a pitching change for the Gaithersburg Giants, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned for the rest of the bottom of the second. You're listening to Big Train Baseball Network.
Cafe, Kona Ice, and 7
Boogie, boogie, boogie down, baby.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. We're still here in the bottom of the second inning where your Big Train leading 5-1. We had a pitching change for the Gaithersburg Giants. It's now number 49, Patrick Bauer, on the bump for the Giants. Up at the plate, Jordan Crosland has a runner in scoring position in Emilio Gonzalez at second base. Count moves to 2-0 on Crosland. The 2-0 outside for ball 3.
Now you might notice Bauer is taller than the average human being. He is listed officially on Frostburg State's website at 6'8".
He attended Mount St. Joseph High School while they're lettered in water polo, swimming, and baseball as the 3-0. Sorry, the count moves to 3-0 on Crosland. 1 out on the board for the Big Train again. Gonzalez sitting in scoring position at second. The 3-0 going to be in there for strike 1.
Last year he led Frostburg State in strikeouts with 54 and ERA with a rock-solid 2.65 clip.
The 3-1 going to be grounded to Martin at third base. He'll make the throw over to Burgess for out number 2.
Again, just that's a routine play for Martin, but again, he had missed those first couple earlier in the game. Just like a basketball player struggling to hit jumpers, it's always good to see one go in, even if it's a wide open layup. And so hopefully for Martin, that'll instill a little more confidence, get it back to where it was before the game.
It's now third baseman Josh Skoronsky takes to the plate, had a base hit during his first at bat. First offering is low for ball 1. Again, with 2 outs on the board for the Big Train, still have Gonzalez with the 6th run in scoring position. The 1-0. That one fouling off for strike 1. Again, Skoronsky having a heck of a night. Had a base hit during his first at-bat. And an excellent catch from right field to record the first out in the top of the second inning, which helped the Big Train hold the Giants to just 1 run with bases loaded. The 1-1 outside for ball 2.
I'm thinking about Patrick Bauer again, standing at 6'8", competing in swimming events. I wonder where he had to start his flip turn. Probably a lot earlier than most.
Can imagine he absolutely dominated the water polo court. Would it be considered a court for water polo?
Well, I think a court involves solid ground.
As the 2-1 is in there for strike 2.
Which there technically isn't a pool, but no one's feet are actually touching the ground. So I'm just going to call it a pool. I'll have to contact my mom's best friend's son who plays competitive water polo.
As the 2-1 grounded to the pitcher, Bauer, he'll make the throw over to first for out number 3. So the Big Train pad their lead further with 1 run, now leading 5-1. Stay tuned as we head into the top of the 3rd inning. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
Nothing feels as good as summer.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the third inning. We've got a pitching change for the Big Train. Going to be number 31, Aiden Kelly, stepping on the bump. Again, your Big Train leading 5-1 after a double from Gonzalez pushed Luke Vaughn over the plate. They've now reestablished their 4-run lead, looking to change things around. Number 7, A.J. Martin, taken to the plate, had a base hit during his first at-bat. Takes the first offering, high for ball 1.
Now a solid couple of innings from Sam Mitchell, who was able to get out of a jam early on.
Count moves to 1-1 on Martin.
Allowing just 1 earned run over 2 innings.
The 1-1, big swing and a miss for strike 2. One, 2 is upstairs for ball 2. Now we've seen Aiden Kelly pitch sparingly throughout the summer for the Big Train, making a lot of relief appearances. Full count will bounce in the dirt for ball 3. Count moves full on Martin. And as we said, Sam Mitchell making his first start for the summer. Got himself out of quite the jam. Held the Giants to just 1 run as the full count popped up high and out of play. With the Giants having the bases loaded not once but twice. Mitchell and fielding squad got themselves out of a jam, only allowing them 1 run. As the full count is outside for ball number 4, Martin going to take his base at first. So he's now reached first in his first 2 at-bats tonight. Now stepping up is going to be number 31, Barham White, the catcher for the Giants tonight. First offering fouled off for strike 1. Oh, 1. Big swing and a miss for strike 2. The 0-2, another swing and a miss for strike 3 and out 1 for the Giants.
The first baseman, number 30, Will Burgess.
So again, your Big Train was the first to strike, put up a 4 spot in the bottom of the first, padded that further with a run courtesy of Gonzalez and Vaughn in the bottom of the second. Looking to protect that lead here, on good pace to do so. Giants with 1 runner on first.
And a potential win for the Big Train tonight would move them within 2 of Gaithersburg in the North Division standings.
As the 0-1 is outside for ball 1. A big swing and a miss for strike 2. The 1-2. That one's in there for strike 3 and out number 2. So Kelly strikes out 2 in a row as the designated hitter Casey Gibbs steps up to the plate. Got a base hit during his previous at-bat to set in motion the first and only run so far for the Giants. First offering is low and outside for ball 1. One zero. Line out into right center field, range and under it. It'll drop between Skoronsky and Williamson. Martin charges over to third. Gibbs gonna take second. So Gibbs lined it right through the hole between center field and right fielder for a base hit double. That'll send up the left fielder, Jaden Brown. Also recorded a base hit during his previous at-bat. So it's been the bottom of the order for the Giants that's been having the most success so far tonight. We've talked a lot about the depth within the Cal Ripken League lineup, says the first offering is low for ball 1.
The Giants, a great example of it. The Aces, very well balanced throughout their lineup as well.
1-0 is outside for ball 2.
And even as the T-Bolts currently sit in last at 7-14 in the North Division, they have a good bit of lineup depth as well. Unfortunately, their fielding and pitching has not been of the same caliber.
As the 2-0 is low for ball 3.
But I gotta say, that's a team, if they're able to sneak into the playoffs, they can compete with really any of these teams, even the class of the league so far in Gaithersburg and Alexandria.
Brown now facing a hitter's count with 2 runs in scoring position. And he'll take ball 4. Walks out to first. Bases now loaded for number 34, Masa Kawashima. He laid down an excellent bunt during his first at-bat tonight, which again drove in the first and only run so far for the Gaithersburg Giants. Kelly finding himself in a similar jam that Sam Mitchell found himself in. Giants with bases loaded, sitting 4 runs behind, looking to make this a very competitive game as Kawashima gonna foul that first offering off for strike 1. We'll see if Kelly can move his way out of this jam. The 0-1 is high and outside for ball 1.
Now, Kawashima, not the biggest guy, listed on the Ripken League website at about 5'9" and 165 pounds. As you saw in the last at-bat, extremely intelligent, and that zone is a lot smaller than your average collegiate hitter.
Can see he holds his bat far in front of him in his stance. 2-1, big swing and a miss. Looks like it was fouled off into the catcher, Luke Vaughn. So that'll move the count even on Kawashima. Again, 2 outs on the board for the Giants. They have bases loaded. Looking to tie the game up. 2-1, just a hair outside. Count moves full on Kawashima. Full count, lined, diving.
Here at Shirley Povich Field.
So a ground ball over to third base, a diving effort from Whitaker. Unfortunately, couldn't get a good hand on it.
That one a little more difficult than usual as he had a base runner sprinting right by him. Definitely not an easy play.
The 1-1, just a hair outside for ball 2. Sandaroff, also a left-handed pitcher as well as a hitter, a rising sophomore at Hofstra University. Hails from Silver Spring, Maryland.
As Aiden Kelly's going to tie his shoes.
Probably a good precaution to take there. Would hate to trip over your shoelaces on the mound. 2-1, gonna be in there for strike 2.
I will say tripping over your shoelaces is a little embarrassing. That's happened to me a couple of times. I've never gotten seriously injured, but an outside viewer would think you look really silly for basically tripping over yourself.
The 2-2. Big swing and a miss for strike 3 and out number 3. A big strikeout for Aiden Kelly. Gonna protect the Big Train's now 2-run lead as we head in to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. Big Train leading 5-3 now as the Gaithersburg Giants put up a 2-spot in the top of the 3rd to cut into the score deficit. First at the plate, Jaden Bastion. First offering was in there for strike 1. The 0-1 swung on and missed for strike 2. So we saw the Big Train bite early on with a 4-spot in the bottom of the 1st, padded it further with 1 run in the bottom of the 2nd, looking to continuously pad their lead as the 0-2 is lined to the shortstop. Will make the throw over to Burgess on first for out number 1.
That's a great backhand stab from Kawashimi. And also completed the second part, which was firing it over to first.
Davin Whitaker now stepping up to the plate. Whitaker was walked during his first at-bat. First offering in there for strike 1. But again, Big Train looking to respond to the 2-spot from the Giants in the top of the 3rd and pad their lead further. The 1-0. Sorry. Swing and a miss for strike 1. So the 1-1 is just a hair outside for ball 2.
That's a pitch that Davin Whitaker has swung at a lot this season, but an eagle eye there to get ahead in the count. Loves that pitch low and outside.
2-1 going to be in the dirt for ball 3. So again, Davin Whitaker, one of the players that we've seen from the very beginning of the summer. We've seen him come a long way from the beginning of the summer, get really confident and comfortable within his position at 3rd base, and it's just been really excelling from the plate recently. 2-2 is outside for ball 3. Count moves full on Whitaker. Full count is fouled off down the right field line. Whitaker going to stay alive to face the full count again. And he'll ground that one over to Kawashima. It'll skip past his glove, and with that, Davin Whitaker is aboard first base with a base hit. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Jack Guerrero.
Like Martin at third, that's a play Kawashima's probably made a lot in his life. That one just skipping over a backhand attempt. Now let's see if they can recover with a runner on first and just one out for Guerrero, who was able to get aboard last time up.
Fouled off for strike one. The 0-1 fouled off into the netting for strike two. An unsuccessful pickoff attempt at first. The 0-2 is outside for ball one. The 1-2 to Guerrero. Gonna bounce in the dirt for ball two, and with that, Whitaker gonna charge over to second.
That is going to be a heck of a laundry load for Whitaker tonight.
Wearing his efforts for tonight. Covered head to toe in dirt already, and we're only in the bottom of the third.
Got a great jump there, although it was a good block from White behind the plate. Unfortunately, Whitaker got a good enough jump. Now potential run number 6 in scoring position for Bethesda.
The 2-2 gonna get away from catcher White there as it was spiked into the dirt. With that, Whitaker now gonna steal third. So the potential 6th run for the Big Train. Now just a base away, and Davin Whitaker at third. Only one out on the board for the Big Train. Guerrero facing a full count. The full count going to be in there for strike 3 and out number 2.
That curveball from Bauer is blurring the line between curveball and palm ball. That is a ridiculous amount of drop. It almost moves in slow motion.
So now the top of the order at the plate in Keenan Bowman was struck out during his first at-bat, looking to avenge himself here and bring in run number 6 off of third. Again, we saw some excellent pinch hitting from Bowman last night, top of the 9th. So the 0-1 is up just a hair outside for ball 1. His home run in the top of the 9th brought a potential victory within 2 for the Big Train. As the 1-1 is outside for ball 2. Two one outside for ball 3. So Bowman sitting ahead in the count. Again, 2 outs on the board for the Big Train. Whitaker aboard third, the potential 6th run. As Bowman gonna take ball 4. He'll walk on over to first. Runners now on the corners for Andrew Williamson.
I'd say taking a walk isn't the most aesthetically pleasing thing, but Bowen makes it look extremely cool.
His casual toss of the bat. First offering is high for ball one.
Now a quick checking around the league. The Grays and Aces currently playing in Alexandria. DC leading 4-2 in the bottom of the 7th. The Senators leading the Braves by the same score in the bottom of the 5th.
As Williamson going to line that one out to right field, but under it with the catch going to be Aiden Robbins for out number 3. So the Big Train leave 2 stranded on first and third, still leading 5-3. Quentin, tell us about what's going on around the Cal Ripken League.
Well, the last game that's going on that doesn't include this one, Crop Dusters leading the T-Bolts 2-1 at the top of the 5th. So tight contest around the Ripken League
Well,
as we head into the close to the home stretch of the season.
well, let's get a better look at the tight competition here at Shirley Povich Field when we return with the top of the 4th inning.
Move so fast. Here's hoping this night will last. Just let go. We're spinning with our eyes closed. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want. Two kids come alive in a night ride. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the 4th inning. Big Train still leading 5-3. First at bat for the Giants going to be number 19, Brady Powell. Kelly's still on the mound for the Big Train, looking to protect their 2-run lead.
Kelly's been a reliable reliever for the Big Train so far this season. The only time he got really roughed up was in Big Train's comeback victory against the T-Bolts, where he was relieved for Max Martzolf, who shut the door in the bottom of the 9th.
So 1-1 is outside for ball 2. Now the Giants have put up at least 1 run consecutively in the previous 2 innings. As the count moves to 1-2 on Powell. Kelly looking to change that and shut him down here. It's a 2-2 outside for ball 3. Count moves full on Brady Powell. Powell, the second baseman for the Giants tonight. Full count, foul it off. Full count, foul it off again. Waiting on deck, number 23, Aiden Robbins, recorded a double to kick off the night. The full count, fouled out of play over the first base grandstand. Looks like that one landed in the batting cages. The full count outside for ball number 4. With that, Powell gonna take his base, sending up Aiden Robbins. So that's the first time tonight that Powell has gotten over to first. Again, with the Giants sitting just 2 behind the big train, looking to close in on that score deficit.
Now already 15 hits through the first 3 innings, 8 runs as well. The fireworks have been aplenty for the big train.
So the 0-1 is swung on and missed for strike 2.
And on a completely unrelated note, I've spotted a Philadelphia Eagles Zach Ertz jersey in the crowd. Didn't think I'd ever see one of those in the year 2024.
As the runner will go to second, Vaughn with the throw to second baseman Crosland. He'll get it in time for out number 1. Excellent fielding from Vaughn and Crosland. Powell unsuccessful in his attempt to steal second. Robbins still facing a 1-2 count. The 1-2 upstairs for ball 2. Comes the 2-2. That one just a hair outside. Count will move full on Robbins.
Now going back to that gun down by Vaughn at second.
As the full count is fouled off.
That is one of the several things that separates great catchers from everybody else. We saw last night the Crop Dusters' Quinn Ahern sport his rocket arm a couple of times.
As the full count is outside for ball number 4. Robbins going to take his base at first, sending up number 7, the third baseman, A.J. Martin. As you were saying, Luke Vaughn has been an excellent addition to the big train squad. He's very tall, so he has a lot of reach behind the plate. It's the first offering to Martin is in there for strike 1.
And he's got enough strength to be able to zip one all the way from home to second from 1 or even 2 knees sometimes if he needs to.
0-1, lined foul down the right field line. That one looks like it might have bounced into the batting cage as well. Count moves 0-2 on Martin. Giants have a runner aboard first in Robbins. 1 out on the board. 0-2 fouled off into the backstop. Again, Aiden Kelly on the bump for the big train in relief tonight. Was here early, signing baseball cards on the Shirley Povich concourse. A lot of excited fans waiting to meet him and get their baseball cards signed. As a big swing and a miss from Martin. Gonna record out number 2 for the Giants.
Number 31, Barham Black.
A big strikeout from Kelly. As now the catcher, Barham White, going to take to the plate, was struck out during his previous at-bat, was walked during his first at-bat. Runner going to go to second. Ball got away from catcher Luke Vaughn there, but it looks like the first offering to White was fouled off, so runner going to have to track on back to first.
The amount of stolen bases that have been stolen from base runners because of foul balls this summer has been astronomical.
0-1 landing in the dirt there. Runner decides not to go after second this time. So Robbins still aboard first. 2 outs on the board for the Giants.
Now, revisionist history might say that He should have taken second, but usually you expect a catcher to find a baseball that's well within their short periphery.
As Robin's going to go for second again, but again, ball was fouled off. Robin's going to have to track back to first.
Getting his steps in, though.
Hope he's wearing his Fitbit. Get some credit for those steps.
Did you ever wear one of those? And if so, what was your personal record in the span of 24 hours, if you can recall?
I hate to disappoint. I have never worn a Fitbit. 1-2's outside for ball 2. But I have used the Apple Health Map to track my steps. That was during the time when I was running quite frequently, though, so I'd record about 3.5 miles as the 2-2 is fouled off.
Can you convert that to steps?
I don't think I'm that good at math.
What, are you not a computer or something?
Do you think there's a Google converter, miles to steps?
An approximation, maybe.
The Robin's going to successfully steal second this time. Made a couple of attempts. Count moves full on White.
I think we'll have to investigate at the half inning. My personal record, I can't remember what it was exactly, but it was somewhere in the 23,000 range.
As the full count is fouled off over the netting.
I was in middle school. My friends and I went to, one of my friends had a house in Annapolis, and we played manhunt around the property. So that really ran up the score.
As the full count, big swing and a miss from White. Giants leave one stranded at second. Big Train still leading 5-3. Stay tuned as we head in to the bottom of the 4th inning. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
Bethesda Community Baseball Club, because the
Wait for me. Keep watching you when you leave. Something new. Keep hoping you feel this too. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl next door. You be my summer crush. Yeah, I think you should come and pick me up. 'Cause nothing feels as good as summer love.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the 4th inning. Big Train still leading 5-3, looking to pad that even further. Kicking things off for your Bethesda Big Train, going to be the catcher, Luke Vaughn. First offering is in there for strike 1. He has changed up his walk-up song from Baby Shark. Not going to lie, I'm a little disappointed. I enjoyed listening to him walk up to Baby Shark.
I don't believe that was his choice.
The 0-1 in there for strike 2. I think that was a bit of a prank from manager Sal Colangelo. The 0-2 going to be outside for ball 1. the 1-2 outside for ball 2.
Everybody clap your hands.
Oh, most people are clapping their hands. Good. That is a command, not a suggestion.
Got a pretty lively crowd here at Shirley Povich Field tonight for Montgomery County Sports Appreciation Night. As Vaughn swing and a miss for strike 3 and out number 1. Had a lot of success from the plate earlier tonight. Was walked during his first at-bat. Took a double during his second at-bat. Now stepping up, Emilio Gonzalez had back-to-back doubles. Looking for some similar success at the plate to pad the Big Train's 2-run lead. First offering in the dirt. Going to get away from catcher White there. The 1-0 to Gonzalez in there for strike 1.
Now, it's probably a greater crowd. It is Saturday. It's also a cooler night here in Bethesda.
As the 1-1 going to be lined out to center field. Under it, Sandoroff for the catch and out number 2. Again, Tanner Sandoroff came in to relieve Leighton Lackey.
Number 1, Jordan Crossland.
So with 2 outs on the board now, Jordan Crossland going to step up to the plate. Oh, and my mom has now texted me a link to a calculator from steps to miles. I'll have to more into that between innings. Swing and a miss from Crossland for strike 1. Don't worry, Quinn. I'll get you your answer.
Thank you. And to Mrs. Winters, thank you.
The 0-1 outside for ball 1. Thankfully, she's a pretty dedicated listener to the Big Train Baseball Network, along with a lot of the players' families. It's the 1-1 going to be outside for ball 2.
We've actually had the opportunity to meet a lot of them throughout this season. Always lovely meeting the parents and in some cases even grandparents.
That's right. It was when we were at Montgomery Blair County High School that we met Landon Franklin's grandfather. I believe you met Josh Skoronsky's grandfather and father last night.
Yes.
In Olney. And we've had the pleasure to meet Joey Wimpelberg's parents a handful of times. As a 3-1 fouled off for strike 2. Count moves full on Crossland.
But we always appreciate the listenership. I feel like what we do is a privilege. We get to talk about college baseball for about 3 hours a night over the span of 2 months. I'd say that's pretty neat.
It is pretty neat. It's a full count. Gonna be fouled off over the first base grandstand. And before I forget another loyal listener, Amy Lieber, the mom of the bat boy Owen Lieber. She works here at Shirley Povich Field, but anytime she's unable to make it to a game, she said she tunes in to the broadcast. So definitely appreciate her support. As a full count going to be in there for strike 3 and out number 3.
That curveball is silly. That is silly.
Just silly. So the Big Train held scoreless in the bottom of the 4th. Score holds serve in favor of the Big Train at 5-3, looking to protect that when they head into the top of the 5th inning. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner, no. 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 Boogie down, mix up. Boogie down, fix up. The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Till the sun comes up. Ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train, ride that boogie train till the sun comes up. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you groove. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Say hey baby, I love the way you boogie down. Hey baby, I love the way you move. Boogie down.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. As we head into the top of the 5th inning, your Big Train still leading 5-3, looking to protect that lead with a new pitcher on the bump, number 33, Jonathan Stevens. And Quentin, your awaited answer. So back in 2020 during COVID, I used to track my miles. I was getting into running to stay fit during the pandemic, and one day I ran a 5K, part of some online contest, but those 3.5 miles turned out to be 8,299 steps.
Solid number. Solid number.
As the count moves to 0-1 on the first baseman, Will Burgess.
So basically that night in Annapolis, I ran almost the equivalent of approximately 3 5Ks.
As the 0-1 fouled off for strike 2. I mean, it sounds like the game of manhunt got very intense.
It was, I was really scared. I remember being really scared. It was dark out, and although I was pretty fast, did feel like I was in a little bit of a horror movie.
0-2 outside for ball 1. Now we mentioned there's a heat wave that moved throughout the DMV area past couple of weeks, as the 1-2 lined into the glove of shortstop Keenan Bowman. That's going to be out number 1 for the Giants. Bowman barely had to move to make that glove catch. With that, designated hitter Casey Gibbs going to step up to the plate. Had a double during his previous at-bat. Started off his evening with a base hit. First offering is outside for ball 1.
Now last season for Longwood, Gibbs recorded 13 hits and 52 at-bats, 14 RBIs, took 17 walks, pitched in sporadically for the Lancers.
As the 1-0 going to be fouled off down the third base line for strike 1. One fouled off. Looks like it might have caught a bit of the catcher, Luke Vaughn. Count moves to 1-2 on Gibbs.
We're going to have a quick visit between Stevens and Vaughn. Phoebe, you said the heat wave is over, and you are correct, and good thing for Big Train fans. They're going to miss some of the peak heat over the next week and change. July 4th, supposed to be hitting a high of 95 degrees.
The 1-2 That one's just outside for ball 2. Now with such high temperatures on July 4th, gotta be extra careful if you choose to set off any fireworks. 2-2's upstairs to move the count full on Gibbs.
Do fireworks explode greater in hotter weather?
Well, with the high temperatures, it's going to be extra hot. Grass going to be extra dry due to the heat wave we've had, and temperatures remaining high. No real humidity in the area. Should they catch onto the grass, could cause some fires and a bit of trouble. The full count swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 2. That's going to send up the left fielder, Jaden Brown. A big strikeout for Jonathan Stevens. Again, trying to protect the Big Train's 2-run lead.
Brown is a redshirt freshman hailing from Germantown, Maryland, playing his college ball at Eastern Kentucky, the lone colonel in the Ripken League.
Swing and a miss from Brown. Count moves to 0-1. Gotta say, I really like his bat he's holding there, the multicolored red and blue.
Looks like a cotton candy stick.
The 0-1 check swing. Did he go around? He did.
Or that, you know what that also looks like? Oh, looks like a cup of Kona Ice.
Yes.
Which you can if you come out to a game here at Shirley Povich Field. Kona Ice has been here all summer long, serving up sweet summer treats.
Actually, it looks like the Kona Ice I got for myself earlier. Makes a cotton candy and blue raspberry flavoring. And again, you can also purchase a souvenir Big Train Kona Ice cup. Can continue to bring that all summer long as the 1-2, just a hair outside for ball 2, count even on Brown.
That's a really good pitch from Stevens. Just a slider almost clipping the inside part of the plate.
But as I was saying, the souvenir cup, bring it back to the Kona Ice truck. Get a discount on your next ice as the count moves full on Brown.
I thought he might try to go fastball in the upper part of the plate. That one just outside. Although I wouldn't be surprised if he goes with it here.
The full count. Big swing and a miss. Looks like it was fouled off catcher Luke Vaughn. So Brown gonna stay alive to face the full count again. The full count. That one. Another big swing and a miss. Vaughn gonna tag him out. So that'll be out number 3 for the Giants. Giants held scoreless for 2 innings consecutively now. Big Train still leading 5-3, looking to pad onto that when we return with the bottom of the 5th inning. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the 5th inning. Kicking things off for your Big Train going to be Josh Skoronsky. Again, Big Train currently leading 5-3, has been held scoreless the previous 2 innings, looking to change that and pad on to their lead as Skoronsky going to nail that one into right field. A diving effort from Aiden Robbins. He'll get the catch for out number 1. That was an excellent effort from Robbins, diving for the ball.
Lost the hat too. That's a lot of extra style points there for Robbins.
Coming up with a big out to give the Giants a fighting chances now. Left fielder Jaden Bastian gonna take to the plate. Started off his night with a base hit. He'll ground that one down the left field line.
Almost some carnage down the third base line. That one tricking Martin, Bauer, and White. But a smart play by all 3 of them to let that ball go foul. Bastian definitely trying to hit more of a ground ball on that bunt instead of a pop-up.
So the count moves to 0-1 on Bastian. Again, 1 out on the board for the Big Train. The 0-1 popped high and out of play for strike 2. The 0-2 gonna bounce in the dirt for ball 1.
That one looked like it got away from Bauer from the start. Looked like it might have stuck to his hand a little longer than he expected.
So again, the Big Train put up the bulk of their scoring in the bottom of the 1st with a 4 spot. That's carried them through to the bottom of the 5th as the 1-2 gonna bounce in the dirt again for ball 2. It's carried them through the bottom of the 5th with the lead, but again, they're looking to pad on to that to prevent the Giants from biting back. We've seen how competitive these 2 teams have been throughout their matches during the summer as the 2-2 outside count moves full on Bastian, and as well as just the Cal Ripken League itself. Seen a lot of late inning magic from the Big Train as they've made huge comebacks.
I truly do think anybody can beat anybody, which is part of why this year has been so interesting.
Is the full count gonna be upstairs for ball 4. Bastian gonna take his base.
And to be quite honest, it makes it more fun to cover, as results this year have been far from guaranteed. Now, we have seen a ton of blowouts, but at the same time, we've seen teams like the Grays, who, as we have noted, are not as offensively strong as other teams. They have won a bunch of dogfights and shootouts as well.
As Whitaker laid down a bunt that went foul. Count moves to 0-1.
And again, even the T-Bolts, who sit at 7-14, they've played in a ton of close games. And you got to think that record is going to even out as the regular season heads into its home stretch.
Pickoff attempt at first, unsuccessful.
But I've always been a big fan of parity, and I mean, not just anything I'm covering, but any sport I take interest in.
Another unsuccessful pickoff attempt at first.
I think that's part of why March Madness is always so entertaining.
The 0-1 fouled off. Looks like Whitaker still got a little piece of that as catcher Barham White already had a hand on it.
I think the umpires might be discussing if White interfered with Whitaker there. That would allow Whitaker to take first, which would move Bastian over into scoring position.
Because it was glove tie, and you saw Whitaker's bat still in motion. Looks like he got a little bit of a piece of that to knock it out of White's glove. So it'll be interesting to see what the decision from the umpires is as they return to their positions. Looks like they're going to rule that there was no interference, so the count 0-2 on Whitaker. Bastion on first, 1 out on the board for the Big Train. The 0-2 fouled off down the third base grandstand.
Everybody clap your hands.
Another unsuccessful pickoff attempt at first. Now you mentioned March Madness and how fun that is to watch with the great competition. The NBA draft happened recently. Gotta say, I'm very excited to see Jared McCain found a new home with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Big fan of Jared McCain.
I love his TikTok page.
It was funny when he got drafted. They showed like 2 basketball highlights and then 5 TikToks, which I don't think has ever happened before.
It's the 0-2 going to be outside for ball 1. And he's been running up that account since joining the Sixers. You see him making quick TikToks before practice. I just think he's such a joy in the NBA. It's another unsuccessful pickoff attempt at first.
Just seems like a very happy person and doesn't really seem to care what people think. He's, especially, let's talk like his style, a little unconventional for what a lot of NBA basketball players have worn. He sports Doc Martens, paints his nails, but he loves that. He loves it.
The 1-2 popped high into the glove of shortstop Kawashima. So that'll be out number 2 for the Big Train again. Jaden Bastion on first. I definitely agree with you there. Actually, he made some success off of painting his nails. Got a brand deal with the nail polish company. But yeah, he's a bit of an unconventional person within the NBA. I think definitely represents Gen Z with his love for TikTok. Is first offering to Guerrero, popped into left field, but under it, charging after it. Jaden Brown for the catch and out number 3. So the Big Train still leading 5-3, looking to protect that lead when we return with the top of the 6th inning. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
Wait for me. Keep watching you when you leave. Something new. Keep hoping you feel this too. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the 6th inning. Big Train held scoreless in the bottom of the 5th, still leading 5-3, looking to protect that. Jonathan Stevens on the bump. We've got a very special guest in the booth with us here. It's Sean Salehi. He worked at Big Train from 2019 to 2021. Sean, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me. It's so great to be back at Shirley Povich Field. This is a place that I hold near and dear in my heart, and it's wild to be back here with a stream with cameras and graphics and everything. I sound old saying this. I'm not that old, but back in my day, it was just an audio link that you would pull up on your phone or computer, and you would just listen like radio. But now you guys have the whole setup. I love it.
It's the 1-0, big swing and a miss for strike one.
Yeah, Sean, I saw you walking in here before the game admiring the setup. This was, at least when I was here, we crossed paths in 2021 when I was a Kirkton writing intern. You were taking on the PA duties here for the Big Train. You were walking in here, and this is far from what the broadcasters then, the great Ben Bobick and Tyler Gallo even had just 3 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, again, they were the first ones to have video, so that was shot off of an iPhone. And again, the fact that you all have now a full switcher, a man behind the scenes in Jordan that's making everything happen, pulling all the strings. That's amazing. I mean, you know, we were a one-man crew or two-man crew back here in the booth. You guys now have so much more at your disposal, and I think it just helps the fans have such a better opportunity to enjoy the game, seeing it from the eyes that we get to see up here in the press box.
Now, Sean, before the game, we got a chance to talk on the concourse about some of the differences between the Big Train team in 2024 versus 2019 to 2021 when you were working with the Big Train. Can you share a little bit of the initial differences you've seen?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so there were some studs on that 2019 team. If you pull up the Cal Ripken League record book, it's a lot of names from that team are up on there. Kobe Katos owns the all-time batting average record for a single season. It's in the high 450s. I mean, that dude just slaps singles all around the yard. Finally got his first home run in the second to last game of the regular season at Silver Spring. And I mean, there was a guy named Jacob Southern, catcher out of Jacksonville, still very close to him today. He hit, I think, 8 home runs in the before All-Star break. He ended up getting hurt and had to, miss the rest of the summer. But there were some dudes on that team, and it was a team that was dominated by pitching and good hitting. They got on base and were able to just keep the line moving at all times. So that team was a runaway train and was able to come away with the championship.
It's the full count to Kawashima is fouled off down the third base line.
And then 2021 comes around, and you got a guy like Kemp Alderman, who was, I would say, one of the few people since Hunter Renfroe was here to give him a little company up near the light tower in left center field.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was one of the few people that I've seen hit it up that way into that tree over there by the left center field light post. I also saw him hit it over the center field batter's eye, and that does not happen often.
I remember during batting practice one day I decided to pull my phone out and video Kemp Alderman's BP because a couple of games prior we were at South County, and I was actually editing a picture of him ripping his pants as he was sliding across home plate. Our great photographer at the time, Maggie Laird, got an awesome action shot of it. So I was busy editing that. Unbeknownst to me, Kemp Alderman was at the plate, and the split second I realized, I have a job to do.
As Sandroff going to lay down a bunt that went foul.
The split second I realized, I should probably be videoing. I'm looking up. I hear the loudest crack of the bat, and I hear one person in the Big Train dugout, I still don't know who it is, go, "Oh my God." And Kemp Alderman, if you see the broadcast angle, the ball goes up and it disappears into the sky. And after that, I was like, I have to record every single at-bat Kemp Alderman's at, even if it's BP. He hits one, as you said, over the batter's eye in center field.
As Sandroff lays down a successful bunt this time, the throw over to first in time for out number 1. But Sandroff successfully bumping Kawashima over to second base, putting the 4th potential run in scoring position.
I have to ask you guys, that foul ball almost came back in here. Have you guys had any close calls? I mean, there's a lot more equipment now in here. We had one that I caught in this press box, foul ball that came back over.
On the fly?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was fun. But, I mean, I would be way more nervous to do it with all this equipment around now.
Well, honestly, we have a first-team all-defense duo here. And
there you go.
The equipment protecting at least whoever's doing color, which tonight would be me.
I will say there was a very close call one night earlier in the season at Shirley Povich Field. We were, I think, genuinely talking about the physics it would require for a ball to land in here, and with that, foul ball dropped just right in front of the windows. Thankfully, dropped.
Wow.
We've talked, Quentin and I, a couple times on the broadcast. I am not going to go for that foul ball catch.
Yeah, I definitely was probably dumb in trying to.
The 0-1 line foul in the right field under it, Gonzalez, but it's going to bounce into the stands.
I almost fell out of this press box trying to get it. I was able to get it, but yeah, that was definitely
I think
a close call.
our best chances are going to be Alexandria
Yep.
and at Prince George's Community College, where the Grays now play. They no longer play in Nationals Youth Academy.
Oh, wow, okay.
They've moved their home stadium. It's still turf,
Okay.
but this time it's in Largo instead of Washington, D.C. But we are perched right down the first base line
Oh, yeah.
at both spots. But I think we had a foul ball come near us in Alexandria.
Yes.
And I look over at Phoebe, and she is trying to protect herself as best as she can.
That's
so
a smart play.
As the 0-2 going to be swung on and missed for strike 3, and now out number 2. That'll send up number 23, Aiden Robbins, to the plate.
But, Sean, the only other person I want to ask from the 2021 team that took home a title was the one that has had the most major league success, Nolan Sean Ewell.
Yeah.
Also had a good bit of light tower power. He'd hit it to the other light tower out there in center, center field.
And I mean, that's the coolest part about this. So as that one, if that net wasn't there, that would have been coming straight for you, Quentin. That's the other cool part about this, and that's, you know, as you guys continue on in your career like I did, and see what continue to follow these guys past their time here in Bethesda, it's really cool to see these guys achieve their dreams and make it to the bigs, and some of them make it all the way in a hurry. And so to see Nolan have the success he's had and, you know, get called up already to the major leagues has just been amazing. And, you know, he's going to be a big-time star for sure.
The 0-1 in there for strike 2. Yeah, I think another close call we've had a couple times is when we go to the Olney Boys and Girls Club. They completely redid their stadium. It's gorgeous. It's where the Crop Dusters play. And so we'll sit in the stands among fans, and we've seen a couple of foul balls come pretty close to us.
Although we are pretty high up.
Mhm.
We are at the top of the stands, but obviously the Crop Dusters were, I don't believe, a part of the league when you were here.
No.
But their stadium, it's First Responders Field by Serve Pro. It is an excellent facility.
Fantastic.
They treat us very well over there.
Fantastic. Love to see the fact that the Cal Ripken League is expanding. It's growing. There's more parity.
It's the 1-2 fouled off by Robbins.
'Cause back in my day, Big
Of-
Train,
of
at least in
2019,
2019, right? No, but I'm
2019.
saying in 2019, seriously, you would go, like, that team you would be curious, are we mercy ruling somebody tonight? Like, it was just, like, it was fun, especially to be on the Big Train side of things, but you wanted to see the game grow with more competition. And it's awesome to see that be the case here in the Cal Ripken League because it helps elevate the league as a whole. I mean, you know, these guys are some of the best college players across the country, and you want to continue to elevate the league and move in a forward direction, and it's great to see that happening here in the Mid-Atlantic and then especially here in the DMV.
Parity is something we've been talking a lot about on the recent broadcasts. I've seen the Big Train sit around that 500 mark as the 1-2 fouled off again,
Ladies and gentlemen, just
but
a
not
reminder,
sitting very
for
far
full
behind the
ice
other teams
awards
within the league. And we've talked a lot about the depth throughout the team's lineups. We've seen a couple of teams, the Giants, a great example of that, where they're bottom of the order, strong hitters, bringing them a lot of success from the plate. So there is just a lot of parity throughout the league and just within the teams itself.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, there's no sport that rides momentum more maybe than baseball. I mean, in my 2019 season, Silver Spring barely got in the playoffs, and they ended up making a run on their side of the bracket to get all the way to the championship. Bethesda swept their first round and then, you know, played the T-Bolts in game 1 and lost. And so it was like, oh, okay, like, you know, you thought it was going to be a 2-game series, and now it had to go at least 3. And Big Train ended up winning at Silver Spring to force a game 3 and then won an absolute thriller 6-7 here in Shirley Povich Field.
As the 1-2 swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 3. Big Train holds them scoreless again, still leading 5-3. We're going to be back with the bottom of the 6th. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
Score in the top of the 7th. And earlier today,
Wait for me. Keep watching you when you leave. Something new. Keep hoping you feel.
And we're back on the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the 6th inning. Big Train still leading 5-3. Kicking things off, going to be the top of the order, Keenan Bowman. Still have Sean Salehi in the booth with us. Thanks for sticking around.
Of course.
Now, Sean, since your time at Big Train, you've made quite a successful career for yourself now working for Monumental Sports. Do you mind telling us a little bit more about your journey?
Of course, yeah. So, I mean, it's funny, actually. I definitely credit Big Train with getting me my opportunity with Monumental. It was when I applied first, it was NBC Sports Washington. And I applied in the fall of 2020 after I graduated from Arizona State. Did not hear back. And so came back to Big Train and worked as the public address announcer for the summer of 21. That's where I met Quentin. And then in the fall of 2021, I was like, man, I feel like I have a good enough resume. I just, I need to figure out who to contact. So ironically enough, the Big Train announcer the year before my first year, so in 2018, great guy by the name of PJ Glasser. He's having a very successful career himself right now with the BetQL app and BetMGM. He was working with NBC Sports Washington, so I reached out to PJ. I was like, listen, man, like, how do I get my foot in the door? And he was like, this is the information of our hiring manager. You absolutely should get in. And I was just applying for a basic, production assistant job, entry level. And sure enough, I got a phone call within 48 hours and a job offer, all thanks to PJ. So it all came back to a connection that I had through the Big Train that got me my foot in the door. And, yeah, started as
The 2-2 is grounded out to third baseman. He'll make the throw over to first. It's a little far outside, and with that, Keenan Bowman going to be aboard first base. That'll send up Andrew Williamson.
Been a rocky night for Martin at the hot corner. You can chalk that down to possibly 3 very makeable plays. Martin going 0 for 3. Although that was a nice recovery to be able to make the throw.
Williamson going to lay down a bunt. He'll chase over to first. Going to be tagged out for out number 1, but does his job to move Keenan Bowman over to second base.
You know those people movers at airports where you walk on them and then suddenly you're walking faster than the people next to you? I feel like that's what Andrew Williamson is moving on at all times. I don't think I don't think Bauer even realized until he was right next to him that Williamson was going to be safe if he didn't tag him. My goodness.
Williamson, very speedy member of the Big Train squad, did his job to push Bowman over to second. Now at the plate, catcher Luke Vaughn. First offering in there for a strike. But as you were saying, Sean, you now work for Monumental Sports.
Yeah.
Got your foot in the door through your connections you've made with Big Train. Now you work closely with Alexa Landestoy as you produce the pregame and postgame show for the Washington Capitals. I had the opportunity to speak with her for actually a school assignment. She's absolutely incredible. She gave me a lot of good advice about how to get started. What would be your advice to young journalists like Quentin and myself about getting your foot through the door and trying to get a job?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I would say, and this goes not just to journalists, but anyone, is it's cliche, but just never say no. I mean, if you make the best ability is availability, and if you're willing to be versatile and do whatever is asked of you and more, then people are going to be wanting to fight for you.
It's the 0-2 grounded to Powell at second base. He'll make the throw over to Burgess on first for out number 2. Bowman seizing the opportunity to steal third, as now Emilio Gonzalez going to step up to the plate. Recorded back-to-back doubles to kick off this evening.
But definitely, if you have an idea or a goal in mind, like my goal was always to come back, and I'm from this area. I wanted to work in this market and cover the teams that I grew up rooting for. Like, just go at it with a dog mentality and don't give up. And honestly, if people will either get annoyed of you or they'll finally give in and give you the job. And, you know, it's worth it at the end of the day, because, I mean, if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. It's as cliche as it gets, but it's true. I'm a living testament of it.
So the 1-0 is lined out to left field. Under it with the catch, going to be Jaden Brown for out number 3. So the Big Train leave one stranded at third. Came very close to scoring the 6th run. Now been held scoreless for 4 consecutive. Sean, thank you so much for joining us in the booth, sharing some of your wisdom from working at Big Train in previous years. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to join us.
Of course. Well, thank you guys for having me, and I'm so happy that you guys are doing what you're doing, because believe me, this is the first step in what will be a very long journey for both of y'all in your careers, and make the most of this summer, because it doesn't get any better than Big Train baseball.
Well, thanks again, and stay tuned as we head into the top of the 7th inning. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the buggy train till the sun comes up. Ride the buggy train, ride the buggy train, ride the buggy train till the sun comes up. Meet me.
And we're back on the Big Train Baseball Network, heading into the top of the 7th inning. Big Train still leading 5-3. First at bat, A.J. Martin.
Again, a big thanks to Sean Salehi for hopping on the mic over the last couple of half innings. Again, as someone who worked with him 3 summers ago with him as a PA announcer here for the Big Train, I am just overflowing with joy for how far he has come in such little time.
The count moves 2-0 on Martin. Again, haven't seen a lot of action in the previous 3 innings. Score is held serve since the top of the 3rd inning. Both teams looking to come alive and switch up the score a little bit. Giants still sitting behind by 2, looking to make this a competitive game. So 2-1 is outside for ball 2. The 3-1 going to be grounded to second baseman Crosland. He'll make the throw over to first for out number 1. Again, excellent work from Crosland in the second baseman position. We've really seen him just mature and grow in that role throughout the month we've been playing.
That's such a great play. That wasn't routine either. Crosland had to get on his horse, or I guess in his case, a super speedy turtle. But a great glove and fire. As now there's 1 out in the inning.
Stepping up, number 31, the catcher Barham White.
And taking another look around the Ripken League. The Grays knock off the Aces in Alexandria 5-4. A huge win for DC on the road against the class of the South Division.
As the 1-0 is grounded past the pitcher, shortstop Bowman takes a bit of a tumble, trying to corral that one. An unfortunate little tripping over his feet. And with that, catcher White going to take his base at first. He had a good scoop on it, but unfortunately just appeared to trip over his feet a bit.
I think the grass monster might have caught him. As 1 turned into 2 for Bowman, but it's not about getting knocked down. It's about getting back up, which Bowman did really quickly. Let's see if he can bounce back here.
As first offering to Burgess is skied out towards left field under it with the catch. Jaden Bastion. 2 outs now on the board for the Giants. 1 runner on first.
And then in the other 2 games around the Ripken League, the T-Bolts have taken the lead over the Crop Dusters 4-3 in the top of the 7th. And then in South County, the Braves dominating the Senators. They lead 14-4 in the bottom of the 7th. So an eventful night once again here in the Ripken League.
First offering to Casey Gibbs, swung on and missed for strike 1. Again, the Gaithersburg Giants have brothers Colin Gibbs and Casey Gibbs on the squad. This is, I believe, the first time Bethesda has seen Casey Gibbs, who is the designated hitter for the Giants tonight. Count moves to 1-1. Can see some lightning in the area just over the right field trees. The 1-1 outside for ball 2.
Now cloud coverage here at Shirley Povich Field, not a whole lot, as that lightning looked to be off in the further distance. Hopefully we can get a complete game.
The 2-1 fouled off into the backstop for strike 2. Now within the Cal Ripken League, should they need to suspend the game due to weather, it's normally a rain delay is called once you've gone through the first 5 innings, so they would be set to call the game should the weather progress and get worse. As the 2-2 is fouled off.
Or perhaps Mother Nature trying to invigorate some offense into this game, as we have not seen a run from either team since the top of the 3rd inning.
The 2-2 going to be grounded to third baseman Whitaker. He makes the throw to first in time for out number 3. So once again, Big Train holds the Giants scoreless. They're still leading 5-3. Looking to pad onto that when we return in the bottom of the 7th inning. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
Wait for me. Keep watching you when you leave. Something new. Keep hoping you feel this too. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want.
And we're back here on the Big Train Baseball Network. Headed into the bottom of the 7th inning here at Shirley Povich Field. The Giants have put a new pitcher up on the bump. It's going to be number 3, Cole Williams.
Williams, a rising sophomore for the Salisbury Seagulls, hailing from Silver Spring, Maryland. Alliteration hour here on Big Train Baseball Network.
First offering to Crosland, going to be fouled off into the backstop. Looks like he lost his bat in that attempt. Just slipped right out of his hands.
Now you've heard of UFOs, unidentified flying objects. That right there is an IFO.
Unidentified flying.
Luckily, the netting here at Shirley Povich saving some fans down the third base grandstand from potential harm. The count now 0-1 on Crosland.
The 0-1 swung on and missed for strike 2. That is surprising. Crosland wears 2 gloves.
Yep.
On his hands. They're red to rep his Maryland Terrapins. That is surprising that with the gloves, the bat was still able to just slip right out of his hands. The 0-2 outside, gets away from the catcher there. Count moves to 1-2 on Crosland. Again, Crosland had a huge night last night. Recorded 3 base hits. Started off this evening with a base hit. Unfortunately was struck out during his previous at-bat. The 1-2 landing outside, spiking in the dirt for ball 2.
Yeah, going back to Crosland's gloves. You don't see many baseball players nowadays go up to the plate without them. One modern example I can think of is Evan Gaddis, a longtime major leaguer.
It's the 2-2. Going to be swung on and missed for strike 3, and that's going to be out number 1 for the Big Train. Going to send up right fielder Josh Skoronsky. Started off his evening with a base hit. Looking to revamp the Big Train bats here. As, again, we haven't seen either team score since the top of the 3rd. First offering is low for ball 1. The 1-0 outside for ball 2.
Now, I mentioned it on the Aces broadcast. Watch Skoronsky. There he goes. Customary squat.
The 2-0 swung on and missed for strike 1. I wonder if that's part of like a superstition. You see him just take a low squat. 2-1 outside for ball 3.
Well, as I had said when we mentioned it last a few broadcasts ago, reminiscent of what Klay Thompson does at the free throw line.
3-1 nailed into left field. It'll bounce for a base hit. So Skoronsky getting a Big Train member aboard first. Hoping to set a trend of hot bats here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Again, score is held serve since the top of the 3rd inning. Big Train looking to pad their 2-run lead.
And Skoronsky there, like a prime Klay Thompson, succeeding from long range. As now it appears as if Thompson will not return to the Warriors.
As the first offering to Bastion is far outside. Catcher White makes the throw down to first. Gonna tag Skoronsky out for out number 2 for the Big Train. Excellent throw from White behind the plate. Skoronsky just a step too far off the first base as the 1-0 popped high and foul for strike 1. So the count 1-1 on Bastion. 2 outs on the board for the Big Train. 1-1 swung on and missed for strike 2. Again, another pretty uncharacteristic low scoring game for the Big Train. previous weeks, seen the offense really come alive. It's cooled off a bit here tonight as the 1-2 going to be grounded past the shortstop. Kawashimi can't get a good hand on it. Looks like it popped right in front of him. Bastion with a base hit, sending up Davin Whitaker, your third baseman for tonight.
Has looked very good defending the hot corner tonight.
Number 26, Gavin Whitaker.
Looking to translate that success at the plate here. As we just saw a moment ago, some more flashes of lightning. So we'll make sure to keep you all updated on the weather situation.
Whitaker had a strong start to the evening, was walked out to first and then followed that up with a base hit as he'll knock that one into right center field. Ranging under it with the catch, going to be Aiden Robbins for out number 3. So the score holds serve at 5-3. Big Train still leading. Going to look to protect that lead when we return with the top of the 8th inning. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the 8th inning. Folks, it's Mad Max time. Max Martzoff stepping onto the bump for the Big Train. We've seen him come in for relief in a lot of clutch situations. Not exactly a clutch situation at the moment as the Big Train still holding a 2-run lead, but first up at bat for the Giants going to be number 8, Jaden Brown. Count sits 1-1 on Brown. As we've said before, Max Martzoff has made himself a very reliable relief pitcher for manager Sal Colangelo, was a returner to the Big Train squad, and has come up very big in clutch situations. Looking to hold the Giants scoreless for the 5th consecutive inning. As the 1-1 to Brown, going to be fouled off down the third base line for strike 2.
Now he did get tagged a bit earlier this week in Alexandria, gave up the go-ahead hit to Jamie Quinn Irons. But Martzoff seems like a guy that's apt to bounce back just like that.
As the 1-2 in there for strike 3. He's going to retire. Jaden Brown giving him his 2nd consecutive strikeout of the night. Now up to the plate, the shortstop, Masa Kawashima. Saw Kawashima get walked to first during his previous at-bat. Before that, had a base hit first offering low for ball one. The 1-0 in there for strike one. Again, can see some lightning over the trees, and right field looks to still be pretty far away. Haven't heard any thunder here yet.
And according to the AccuWeather radar, there will, or at least should, be no rain here in Bethesda. It looks like any semblance of precipitation will be passing over the northern part of Maryland, closer to Urbana and Hampstead as well.
And so we're in the top of the 8th inning. Should hopefully get a complete ball game here at Shirley Povich Field as the 2-2 is in there for strike three and out number 2. Mad Max retiring them early. Now stepping up the pinch hitter, Tanner Sanderoff.
Number 2, Tanner
Put
Sanders.
down a sacrificial bunt during his previous at-bat to move a runner into second. First offering in there for strike one.
Painting that outside corner like Picasso. Martzoff clearly in a rhythm, looking to go 1-2-3.
It's the 0-1, just a hair outside for ball one.
He's the kind of guy where if he gets on a roll, he's very difficult to stop.
It's the 1-1 outside for ball two. Which is, again, why he's established himself as the closing pitcher for manager Sal Colangelo. The 2-1 in there for strike two. Has saved a lot of games for the Big Train throughout this summer. The 2-2. Gonna be in there for strike three and out number 3. Mad Max does it again for your Bethesda Big Train, who are currently leading 5-3. As we wrap up the top of the 8th inning, don't go just yet. It's baseball card night here at Shirley Povich Field, and of course, Quentin Corbiol gonna bust out his baseball card collection, has a little bit to show and tell.
I feel like I'm in first grade again. Oh my goodness, this is so amazing. Okay, I brought 10 of my favorites. I'm going to go in chronological order
Sounds
of when they came out or the player they highlighted. I'm going to start first. Here is Jackie Robinson, a Topps card. Spoiler alert, a lot of these are Topps cards. A Jackie Robinson career highlights, the day he broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball, April 15th, 1947, which was a win for the Dodgers. But here is Jackie Robinson, once again, one of the all-time greats. We're going to continue with the great Bob Feller. And now this Topps card commemorating when he threw his third no-hitter in 1951. At the time, was the first pitcher to ever throw 3 no-hitters, at least in the 20th century. So this one commemorating the great Bob Feller. And next, I actually talked about this guy a few broadcasts ago. This is Cal Hubbard, the only man who has ever been inducted into both the Baseball and the Football Hall of Fame. And unfortunately, I think we have to do some baseball right now.
Looks
But
like
again, I don't remember where I got this card. It just kind of showed up one day, but definitely one of the more unique figures in sports.
Well, thank you for sharing, but unfortunately your time's been cut short. We're going to head into the bottom of the 8th inning. Again, on the bump, Cole Williams for the Giants. First at bat, going to be the designated hitter, Jack Guerrero. First offering is outside for ball one. The 1-0, going to be grounded out to second baseman Powell. He'll make the throw over to Burgess for out number 1. That's going to kick things back to the top of the order, and Keenan Bowman. Now, although viewers can't see at the moment, let you explain the backstory behind some of your favorite baseball cards that you so excitedly brought here tonight.
Yeah, my CSOE, my card shown over expectation, definitely in the negatives for that break in between innings.
As Bowman going to line that one foul down the third base line.
But I've got here Barry Bonds' Pittsburgh Pirates card. Again, definitely smaller than a lot of the others here in the deck.
It's the 0-1, going to be in there for strike two.
And then here we have a sparkly tops.
The 0-2 going to be lined past the second baseman. Base hit for Keenan Bowman. Again, we've mentioned we haven't seen any scoring since the top of the third inning. Bowman looking to change that with a base hit, as now Andrew Williamson steps up to the plate. His previous at-bat laid down a sacrificial bunt, nearly made it to first, as we mentioned, a little bit of confusion from the pitcher. Didn't think Williamson was going to speed over there in time. First offering nailed out towards right field, and it's over the wall. Home run for Andrew Williamson. That's going to bring in Keenan Bowman off of first. Andrew Williamson, another home run over the right field fence at Shirley Povich Field. It's his 4th this summer. Your Big Train now leading 6-3.
We might have
Sorry,
to check,
7-3.
We might have to check his pant pockets for batteries. This guy's production is approaching non-human levels. My goodness, this guy's been on a tear. Hit a 2-run shot here not too long ago with that one almost looking exactly the same.
As now Luke Vaughn going to step up to the plate. This is what we've been talking about. I hadn't seen any scoring since the top of the third. The bat's now coming alive thanks to a home run and a base hit.
And you know what, Phoebe? I think we should lock in on the game right now. I will show the rest of my cards at the conclusion of this game. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
All right.
The 0-1 going to hit Vaughn in the shoulder. The first hit by pitch we've seen tonight. And with that, Vaughn takes first, setting up Emilio Gonzalez with a runner on first.
I wish I could look that nonchalant while getting hit by a pitch. Vaughn did not did not hesitate one bit there.
He barely flinched, but it looks like we're going to see a quick mound visit over to pitcher Cole Williams. But again, Andrew Williamson, a gorgeous home run over the right field fence. Pushed Bowman off of first over to home. And with that, the Big Train has padded their lead. Now leading 7-3. Looks like we'll get a conclusion of the mound visit. Cole Williams staying on the bump for the Giants. You know, perhaps the lightning in the area did bring back to life the white-hot bat of Andrew Williams.
Again, an average lightning bolt, around 50,000 degrees.
Did you know that off the top of your head?
Yes.
That is impressive.
I feel like you.
First offering to Gonzalez is outside for ball 1.
Had to go quite deep in the memory bank for that one.
The 1-0 swung on and missed for strike 1.
Now, if we're putting this in an inside-out perspective, luckily that one hadn't been thrown away into the deep depths of the lost memories.
I'm still waiting to see Inside Out 2. I loved the first Inside Out. The 1-1 upstairs for ball 2. Haven't gotten the chance to attend the movie theater to see Inside Out 2 just yet. The 2-1 to Gonzalez. Going to be fouled off down the left field line for strike 2.
This is a super elementary question, but that was a Disney Pixar movie, correct? Or is that just a regular Disney movie?
I believe it was Disney Pixar.
Okay. That definitely up there for one of my personal favorites as well.
The 2-2 gonna bounce away from catcher White there, and with that, Vaughn gonna steal second. Count moves full on Gonzalez again. 1 out on the board for the Big Train. The now potential 8th run in scoring position in catcher Luke Vaughn.
And I think throughout the summer we've seen all 5 of the original inside-out emotions appear quite a bit.
Sometimes within just one ball game. As we've seen some handoff of leads, a lot of thrilling situations. The full count to Gonzalez going to be lined out to left field. Gonna drop for a base hit with that. Vaughn charges over to third. He's gonna hold up there. Runners now on the corners for Jordan Crosland.
It looked like Jordan Crosland was running excitedly up to the plate. I thought for a split second that he was going to go Sean Springs and try to intercept the pass, which would be the first time I would have ever seen that at any level. But regardless, runners on the corners. Emilio Gonzalez having himself a nice night.
We've mentioned he's been a really huge contributor these past couple of games. Definitely contributed to that 14-7 game earlier this week as Crosland going to foul that first offering off for strike one. Saw his bat cool off a little bit after his back-to-back doubles, but seems to be alive and well again. A base hit that's now put runners on the corners for Jordan Crosland, who's been having himself a week as he'll ground that one to shortstop Kawashimi with that. Vaughn gonna run over to home. A throw from Kawashimi to Burgess. Gonna tag Crosland out at first. Sorry. No, looks like the throw was not in time.
I think the inning is going to end
Yep,
here.
looks like there was a double play that we missed there. Looks like they got the throw over to second to get Gonzalez and then over to first to get Crosland. So that'll wrap up the top of the bottom of the eighth inning. We're going to send it to the top of the ninth. Stay tuned as you're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
Wait for me. Keep watching you when you.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the ninth inning. So in the bottom of the eighth, we saw player interference at second base, and with that, the double play made outs 2 and 3. So Luke Vaughn's run across home plate did not count. Big Train put up a 2 spot in the bottom of the eighth thanks to a home run from Andrew Williamson, now leading 7-3 as Brady Powell is going to swing and miss for strike 2. The 0-2.
Ooh.
Just a hair outside for ball 1.
Now, I do want to take a brief moment to shout out one of our lovely Kirkton interns, Ian DeMaca, with, as he would say, another fire tweet from the Andrew Williamson home run.
It's the 1-2 going to be outside for ball 2.
It was it was a combination of something that both Kevin Harlan and Ian Eagle would say if Eagle was following Harlan.
As the 2-2 going to be in there for strike 3 and out number 1 for the Giants.
But real quick, DeMaca started the tweet with Andrew freaking Williamson, reminiscent of Kevin Harlan's Jimmy frickin' Butler from the 2023 NBA playoffs. And then the second half of the tweet was, is not human. Something that Eagle says a lot, especially on basketball broadcasts.
And as he noted, it's the team's 15th home run of the summer. The 1-0 in there for strike one.
I'm not sure another team in the Ripken League is going to catch the Braves in total home runs. They have led the league in that category for pretty much the entire season by a wide margin, but the Big Train making a good run.
It's the 1-1 going to be fouled off into the netting for strike two. The 1-2. That swung on and missed for strike three. And out number two, Mad Max leaves Robbins chasing. That'll send up the third baseman, A.J. Martin, to the plate.
Now a win for the Big Train would mean it's third in the last 4 games.
First offering in there for a strike on Martin.
And a loss for the Giants would drop them to 14-9 on the season.
The 0-1 outside for ball one. Again, the lightning over the trees in right field still seems relatively far away. The 1-1 in there for strike two, but the next strike from Max Martzoff would end the game here, making the Lightning a non-issue.
Martzoff prides himself on inside-out action. They're outside in for strike two.
The 1-2 going to be popped up high. And under it. Oh, Jordan Crosland went for the backhanded catch. Fell out of his glove there. And with that, A.J. Martin going to be aboard first base. Again, 2 outs on the board for the Giants. As now the catcher, Barham White, going to step up to the plate. Could see both Emilio Gonzalez at first base and Jordan Crosland at second, ranging under that ball. Crosland called him off, made the catch, but it just bobbled out of his glove. First offering low for ball one.
That's never a good a good feeling as a fielder. Again, it's a play you make at the very least 9 out of 10 times.
The 1-0 swung on and missed for strike one.
But hopefully Martzoff can sweep that one under the rug if he's able to end the game on this at-bat.
The 1-1. Going to get away from catcher Vaughn there, and with that, Martin going to steal second. Count moves to 2-1. See a quick visit between catcher Luke Vaughn and Max Martzoff. The 2-1 going to be fouling off into the netting for strike two. So again, Martzoff finding himself 1 strike away from ending the game here, giving the Big Train their 12th win of the summer. The 2-2 going to be grounded to third baseman Whitaker, bobbles it, can't get a good hand on it, and with that, Giants have put runners on the corners. Not ready to be shut down just yet. More of that parity we've been talking about all night. Gaithersburg Giants fighting back from the plate. Runners now on the corners for the first baseman, Will Burgess.
So that's now 2 routine plays the Big Train have let get away from them. Especially unfortunate for Whitaker, who's had such a good night at third base.
The 0-1 going to be swung on and missed for strike 2. The 0-2, that one fouled off down the first base line. Burgess facing the 0-2 count again. 2 outs on the board for the Giants, who are trailing by 4. The 0-2, big. Aw, looks like it was fouled off to catcher Luke Vaughn.
There was palpable disappointment in your voice, I could tell.
It was a huge swing and miss, but it was fouled off into the catcher Luke Vaughn. So Burgess going to stay alive at the plate, facing the 0-2 count again. And that one fouled off again. The 0-2. That one's outside for ball 1.
That's such a good pitch. Again, lefty on lefty, that slider that breaks into the zone at the last second. Just so difficult to hit, but Martzov just missing there.
The 1-2, outside for ball 2. Count goes even on Burgess. The 2-2. That one outside for ball 3. Count moves full on Burgess.
That's another pitch Martzov's had a lot of success with this season. And that one just a bit outside. And now we'll see if the designated hitter Casey Gibbs gets a shot.
The full count. Check swing. He went around, so that'll be strike 3 and out number 3. Mad Max gets it done for your Bethesda Big Train, who have won 7-3, picking up their 12th win of the summer. Quentin, what are some of your initial thoughts on this victory?
Pitching was fantastic today for the Big Train. It was a handful of guys that got the job done. But whether it was Martzov who closed or Sam Mitchell who only allowed 1 earned run in his first 2 innings of work, the pitching was fantastic for the Big Train, and they came up with runs not just in bunches but early on. A 4 spot in the bottom of the first. Andrew Williamson with a cherry on top later in the game. This was an all-around great performance from the Big Train.
I definitely agree. We've talked about it a lot this summer, the Big Train falling in the score early, having to play a bit of catch-up, but recently we've seen them turn that around. They've been putting up numbers to start off the game. This 4 spot in the bottom of the fourth really carried them through the rest of the game, and Andrew Williamson hit a home run over right field to, as you said, put the cherry on top. But I'll give you a quick chance to share your cards before we head out for the night.
Thank you. Okay, I'll be as efficient as possible with this. So this, Barry Bonds on the Pirates. How about that? A young Barry Bonds. Take a good look at that one. And then now, after Barry Bonds, we head into the 2010s with what this one caught your eye.
Yes.
Immediately.
I
And
love the sparkles.
for understandable reason, it is a Topps Philip Humber, a sparkly Topps Philip Humber. Now, what makes this card really special to me, I don't often read the back of the card, but I am going to here because I think it's an unbelievable story. It says, quote, "When I was young, I had big dreams," said Philip early in 2011. "I thought I was going to go out there and dominate every time. It hasn't worked out that way to this point. He spoke too soon. The former premium prospect was superb for the White Sox, his 4th team, once even carrying a no-hitter into the 7th inning at Yankee Stadium." Now, this card was made in 2011. Sure enough, the next season, April 21st, 2012, Philip Humber throws a perfect game against the Seattle Mariners, arguably the most improbable perfect game in MLB history. So I thought that's partially, other than the appearance, why this one was unique. Would you like to hold this one as well?
Would.
And then I figured since we're in Maryland, I had to pull out a Washington National. I have here a gold-bordered Jason Worth Nationals playoff hero Jason Worth, celebrating 60 years of collecting. And this might be a homer, but look how cool Mark Teixeira looks in this one. Definitely a unique one. I didn't even know I had this. We're
This
almost
one's also
done.
sparkly.
That one's also a little sparkly.
See
Very
if I
nice,
can catch
very
the
nice
lane on that
appearance. And then here's one of the more unique ones I have. This is Agnes McKee. Now, Agnes McKee, you can see here the date, July 20th, 2014, became the oldest person to ever throw a first pitch at Petco Park in San Diego. She was 105 years old when she made the first pitch. She said she had been practicing for a while. And just the fact that she was able to make it out there is impressive in itself. So, Agnes McKee, a rare one. And I didn't even know I had that. And then second to last, Big Train alum Brian Dozier. Unfortunately, I could not find any Hunter Renfroes or anybody else that played for the Big Train, but this one just a classic Topps Brian Dozier. And then one of the more unique ones, I hold this one more to my heart than others because I was a longtime player of Nicktoons MLB. It is not only Alex Rodriguez, then a third baseman for the New York Yankees. How about Aang from Avatar? Are you kidding me? Worlds colliding.
Well, Quentin, you've got a
The left side of the infield we never knew we needed. Aang and Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, you've got definitely an impressive baseball card collection. Thank you for sharing with us on baseball.
Thank you, Teacher Phoebe. I appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing on Baseball Card Night here at Shirley Povich Field. Your Bethesda Big Train walking away with a 7-3 victory. As you said, excellent pitching. Mad Max coming in for the relief to close out the night, and a home run from Andrew Williamson just topped off the night. Thank you for tuning in. We hope to see you back here tomorrow morning for another 10 a.m. game here at Shirley Povich Field. You've been listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. For our producers, Jordan Parham, Lindsey Morum, who couldn't be in attendance tonight, still recovering, for our executive producer, Harrison Myers, and for my partner, Quentin Corpuel. My name is Phoebe Winters. Thank you for listening.